Welcome back to my single player create series. I'm actually remembering to start recording at the beginning of the video and not just winging it in post-production. We're hanging out in the workshop that I finished in the end of the last video, and what we're going to be doing today is not down here. You can't see it down here. Let's go up. Still love this thing. Alright. First of all, I extended our area. Second of all, this is our large factory area here. I'm thinking that my original plan of having something coming through this area and crossing over somewhere down here, it's not as likely. Whereas if I were to go around this north side here, I could have, I don't know, maybe it's just something a little more visually interesting going around this area right here. And then I can get lost in the trees this side of the hill. I have no idea what would go there, but it's just an idea. And then in addition to that, I got to lay out the tracks just to get an idea of how that's all going to go. Up here, I'm going to lay out some of the factories. I have no idea how big some of the areas need to be. All I have worked out is that uh, I know what cobblestone farm I'm going to make. I need you to understand this. I have spent, what time is it? I've spent 5 hours. You're ruining my moment. I have spent 5 hours designing, testing cobblestone farms. Half of it's been waiting, getting some samples, seeing like test runs to see how long it would take things to work. But the important thing is I have spent far too long on this already, and I haven't even started building yet. Not in this world, so let's get to it. Now let's start out by getting some, I think, yeah, let's just take them all. Take all the bricks, and I think I'll need, do I have torches? I do have torches. I have a lot of torches in here. We can get started lining out, we can get started outlining things, and more importantly, lighting it up, so I don't have anything killing me when I'm there. Alright, so at the bottom half of the screen, you can see what I currently have mapped out for our farming area. It could, of course, continue, I think this is north, through this swamp area that's not been flattened, or, yeah, flattened. This may end up flattened as well. I may take these mountains down, or at least lower them down. And the same with this little spire right here, just so I can have, maybe I can build something small and interesting right here. I'm pretty sure this is the world spawn too, so that would be, yes, yeah, this is it. So I would want to do something here. My current question, oh, by the way, here I am, chilling on this little tree. So my current thoughts, originally my plan was to come from the south here, along this river, and then a small bridge onto this section of land. But as I've been thinking about it more and more, I've decided that something along this smaller strip over here that goes just over this bit of water, and then maybe splits left and splits right. Well, it could split right if it had, like, if I had more factories going up along this part of the swamp, but it could just swing left and we could just have all of the factories along here. It would come diagonally across there. It would go to the left, probably stay to the right side here along the water, just so there's room for a factory on the left side there. And then I'm thinking it would eventually do like an S curve and wrap around so that's actually more turn, so it's more like in the middle section right here. So we got factories on either side, and we probably want to split the track at some point as well, so that we could have possibly one line in the center and then like sidings to stop and fill, or however we do it. And then from where I'm at, we try and take the train and curve it up through here. I mean, a straight line is going to be the best, but if that's not entirely doable, then I suppose somewhere around here, diagonally to this section, would work. So I've gone ahead and I've laid some tracks from down around here up. It curves. Apparently it didn't want to save in the picture, or in the map. I've been doing some big curves, which will allow for some long stretches of just straight, smooth. Maybe smooth is the better word. Rail Railway line that would allow me to curve separately for maybe multiple platforms coming through here. But I really don't think I'd need more than one or two, and maybe I could do multiple. I just feel like it'd be a little excessive at this point. The other thing worth noting is I cannot find a layout for this bridge here that I like. I wanted to originally do like I know when Steam and Rails gets updated, they have phantom tracks, so I could do a moving bridge eventually, but there's no good spot for it if I want to go straight unless I went straight through here, and then I'd have to extend this area out, which isn't the end of the world. It just feels like it's awfully close to everything else that's going on, so I don't know if I'd want to do that. The other problem I run into is that I don't, I'm not, I guess the other option would be a straighter. It has to be 45 degrees or straight like this. And if it's at 45 degrees, I'd want to elevate it just enough so we could take something underneath, a boat perhaps. Not that we ever really would, but I think it would be a nice thing to have, a nice thing to add, just so that there's that little bit of movement. Okay, otherwise, if there's no way to get through here, we might as well just pave over this whole thing, and I don't want to do that. I'm leaning a lot more towards this idea and maybe just moving it further over into this section here, which I know would make it longer, but I'm kind of at a loss for ideas. Plus, then I guess this curve would be a little bit shorter too. So I guess there's that. So maybe I'll move these two things. I'll get rid of them and just move them so that they're more in line right here. I'd like to take a quick break from whatever I was doing to upgrade some this first aid. There we go. I just happened to have checked that already, so let's get some hay. I have the hay bales, and now I can work on getting a hospital in place so I don't have to keep healing these guys. Now back to what I was trying to work on earlier, trying to figure out. I think the best option here this doesn't look half bad, but the better option may be to just bring a train in right behind these guard towers, having some other smaller buildings over here. I don't know. I'll have something right here. Continue the maybe not even continuing the road here. Maybe continuing the road, but definitely having some kind of station. And in this area behind the warehouse, but hopefully somewhere in line with this tiny little peninsula right there, I could have a drawbridge, and I might even fill in some of this section here going this way, just to create a smaller span to stretch, and maybe even a double track for that. But maybe the double track will only exist on this side, and it will basically just be the station. And then I could just fill in uh, the land out here. That might be a decent idea, I think. Or not, I don't know, but I'll figure it out when I get there. Now, if I'm going to have multiple tracks, I probably shouldn't do one S-bend. I should probably have like a partial and then a 40, just something traveling at 45, and then another row or two of tracks, because this is not what I was hoping for. I mean, it works. It's just not what I wanted. And I do like this straight set of track as opposed to this one, because over here I could do something at least. I could have, I don't know, I could have my, what are you? Fisher. Okay. So I could have my station over here somehow, somewhere, and then maybe I don't have any super long trains, or if I do, they extend mostly this way. Like maybe I have a second road coming off this way somewhere, and right here. I think I'm going to base the next track, or the next, yeah, I'm going to base the whole station. Like it's going to go a little bit there, a little bit there, like to the left, to the right, and then it's basically just going to come up to the edge of where this guard tower is, maybe a couple blocks back, and then I could extend a road this way. But yes, I do think we're going to work with this straight line, because then when we get Seaman Rails updated, I can have a drawbridge sort of thing, and I can have this town basically separated from the nearby areas. I think that'll be more interesting. Maybe lore-wise, is this somehow some kind of protected city? There's, oh, I guess, I gotta go take care of that now. All right, just so we're clear, this is much bigger than it. Nope, not the not the town. I should put saddles on you guys or something. More. There's 5 more of you float. 6, 7 more. You wouldn't mind stopping that now, would you? Alright, well, Fisher's probably dead. Or my builder, which would be worse. Any of these? Well, I could at least. I have more. Alright, next step I think is going to be fixing my home. Well, you know what? Everyone died, so now there's room for another baby, I guess. Great. Perfect. Perfect timing. I have grown bored, and I have decided I will be removing uh, this, these floating rocks, and a lot of these spires, just so that I may have a smoother, or I guess a better shape for my train to come through. And maybe I can actually put. So according to my rough tests, I'm going to take a circular tree farm, and then wherever it ends up. Basically, I have a diameter for it already, so I'm kind of hoping I could squeeze it in between these two spaces. All right, so we've got a circle. There'll be a fence coming out near the track, probably a block away, and it will follow a similar curve, I suppose. Conveniently, there's a ton of oak around here, but I don't really want to do this with oak. So I guess we'll use the gravel bricks I have on me instead. 2, 2, and 4. You know what? I think I do like that. The idea being, so we'll have a circular tree farm right here, a fence around the outside. The tree farm will be unloaded using portable, whatever they are, portable item. somethings, whatever they are. And then from there, they'll be brought along a belt into the factory, a stack at a time. And we do a stack at a time so we don't dump everything and then have no saplings to fill these guys, to fill the deployers. But, and what we'll do from here will be effectively no real need for measurements here. Maybe instead of bringing this all the way out here, I'll have like a platform. 2, 3, 4. Let's say it ends here, so we have the building end there, and it'll just continue on all the way. Oh, I don't want to say all the way down, but as far down as I have to, because this will be producing basically everything wooden that I will need. And then from here, continuing down again. Difference here being this will probably have to have some kind of foundation built into the ground, or yes, foundation, maybe even a little dock. So for this, just in case, maybe I want some kind of, I don't know, transportation. Maybe we're exporting some, maybe not large amounts, but we could be exporting some amounts of wood from here. I feel like this mountain needs some kind of, it deserves some kind of base, something interesting, more than I'm giving it at this point. Yes, I think this will be good for here. I probably won't start on this episode because there's still so many other things to do. And I'll probably do something similar on this side because, well, there's a curve and I can work with that. Down here, there's not really much we can do with a curve. Like maybe I could put like the locomotive yard here so I could have some kind of, I don't know, maybe I don't know if I'd want to do like a row shed here, or maybe I could do a like sidings for rolling stock, and you could technically come in from both ways. So I think I need some kind of yard. I don't need it, but I definitely should have some kind of storage back here for locomotives. Unfortunately, it's only 2 chunks thick, and that is the size of the design for my indoor roundhouse, which would make it also just obscenely big compared to the rest of these buildings. And that's, I mean, I don't mind this shape, but it's the size of this already. Like we're going to be pushing like a chunk and a half, and in doing that, like let's use this as a base. So we got that, 1 track there, and 1 track there. This would just be a huge. That is a huge diameter for what I'm working with. So maybe it is in fact too much, especially with the size of this curve here. I'm actually starting to not like this one. I could, at the beginning or edge of this curve, basically, let's pick that up. Wherever that would be, it would be right here. Mark it with the jack-o'-lantern. That seems to be how I do things. We'd come in 2, 3, 4. I feel like 5 is a good number. A little corner there. 2 here for a, I don't know, buffer when we get those back. I'm putting a lot of faith in Steam and Rails coming back. 1, 2, and a third, just so they're actually closed in if I need to. And then maybe I have just a series of these guys with, so I've got some longer ones, some longer bays to put longer engines in. Do I want to have, I kind of think I would want to have another series of these, another smaller shed for like the designated shunter for the area. And then in doing so, I have a small shack up here for the shunter. In fact, let's not call it small, because Well, I'd probably find 2, 3, 4, a fifth, and then there. I have no idea how long I need this, but I know I've built some shacks before. 1, 2, 3, another one. And this really only leaves room for it be 1, 2, well, 1, and then another set, which puts it a little close here, I think. So maybe instead of doing that, we shift this whole thing over so it's 3. After all, nothing, I mean, ideally, nothing would be traveling at speed through here. We can go 2 away, have space there. In fact, there's enough space where I could evenly space them out. Except I couldn't because we're still getting into this building. So maybe instead of that, we do in fact do this, and then I'd have just 1 block of space, which would be, I think, enough. Nope, I should stop removing these because I need them for marking. Maybe nothing would really have to live here. Now that I've stopped and I don't say take an inventory, but taking a second to look, and I can tell that I did that wrong. Get another one out here. Okay, so now I've got it. I have to find a way to make a nice smooth curving track from this point up to here. And we won't be using those for the track. You think 20? 20 is a reasonable little curve. I feel like if I built a train with a longer wheelbase, that would be too long. And then the problem becomes now I have to do that for... You know what? Hang on a second. What am I doing? Instead of this, why don't I just have it at like a 45-degree angle? So the problem here is going to be more so... Yeah, I can't stand this curve. It looks awful. So do I just completely ignore that? Do I not have a curve here? And just have like a single row here for maybe organizing? Maybe I organize... Oh, it's hard to organize trains with no siding. Unless, of course, I just did it on the other side. The question, I suppose, becomes what do I do with this weirdly round area? I mean, we got all this industrial right here. I don't think it... I mean, maybe we try and correct that with a nice sort of... nice structure here or here. Aside from the last hour I've spent laying out this area over here, which honestly doesn't seem that impressive for an hour. I expanded this area quite a bit today, and I mean, if we look at it, you see I put in all these roads, and I've got hospital built and houses, and there's all kinds of stuff in now. I need to, like, I've got all my, this guy's building the pig farm over here. And then this is going to be sheep, and I did relay out where these tracks would go. I extended this all the way up to where I think it will end over here. And then probably just around like the perimeter of the swamp. At least in this big area. Over to here, I think we're going to keep this river just because. And in doing so, we'll probably end up tearing out a bunch of these the villagers' houses. We'll keep the ones on the hill, but anything floating is going to go. Oh no, more guys. I would like to spend the following, I don't know, there's 17 days left. Well, let's call it 16. I say you fought a good fight, but I don't know if there's even any more of you. Oh. Hey, he did it! Let's go. He served a purpose. Okay, so now that I have it, I can continue, say, north to my tracks. I'd appreciate if you didn't hurt my... Oh, hey, he's got the shield texture. I am off the map. Corners filled in, and then honestly, I'm feeling lazy. Guess there's a lava pool over there. I throw all those in there. Is it now much bigger? Then I'll just need 3 more to fill out probably the rest of it. Just for the sake of... I do like the airlock, the threshold, to stop the pigs from coming in. So, I am going to end the video here. I'd like to thank you for watching. I understand it maybe wasn't the most... maybe it wasn't the most productive, and maybe it wasn't the most productive in terms of factories and everything, but now I've got an idea of what I'm doing. I can work towards a bigger goal. I just have to do that. And you know what? It's occurred to me what can be done in, where's it at? This area. I haven't laid out an area for a power station. So naturally, that will be, I think that'll have to be my power station. Here or here, maybe over here, so it's closer to water. I mean, here would be better, so I'm further from water and I don't have to deal with filling it in. But in the event of, say, some kind of meltdown, I could just flood it. Or I could do something similar over here. I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to be building something unnecessarily, probably not large, but powerful. And then we'll figure out where I'm going from there. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. Comment what you'd like to see more of. Comment what you'd like to see less of. Just let me know. I appreciate the interaction, and I try to respond to comments as I see them. It doesn't always happen, but I've been me, you've been you. Christ is King, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.